Good morning. This is Katie Breth with your Conservation Report. I believe the most popular conversation starter in Minnesota is the weather. That is likely because weather affects everyone's lives, from producing achy joints and itchy, watery eyes to anxiety to get this year's crop in the ground. But we are not only interested in the weather coming our way today or tomorrow, but also past weather patterns. Today I'm going to share with you a 2017 weather summary report provided to Stearns County SWCD by the Minnesota DNR Climatologists. 2017 was not as warm or as wet as 2016, but was still a little wetter and warmer than the long-term average. It finished with an average statewide precipitation of 28.17 inches and an average temperature of 42.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Spring took off with an early start in 2017 with a February heat wave. It was an extraordinary spring for ice out, with many lakes losing ice and then becoming ice covered again. In general, lakes shed their ice about 2 to 3 weeks earlier than the median. One of the most noteworthy weather events of 2017 was the record early tornadoes on March 6, 2017. These 3 tornadoes broke the long-standing early record of March 18th in 1968 as the earliest tornado for Minnesota. Not only were there 3 tornadoes, but they were in 4 different counties: Freeborn, Faribault, Sherburne, and Steele County. Out of the 61 tornadoes reported in Minnesota for 2017, most were weak. Autumn was a mixed bag of wintry and balmy weather, with a particularly gloomy and cold spell from October 27th to November 5th. With the cold and damp weather, statewide corn harvest fell behind. Fortunately, November 24th through early December turned balmy and was a time to catch up with fall activities. Most lakes had a series of thaws before most froze over by the second week of December. The coldest Arctic outbreak of the year was at the end, when the mercury plummeted to well below zero at many places on New Year's Eve day. I personally am glad that 2018 spring temperatures have arrived. Although we have not received a significant amount of rainfall, it is best that we do prepare for it. The Minnesota Department of Agriculture has teamed up with the Natural Weather Service to design a tool that helps farmers and commercial applicators determine the best time to apply manure. This is the Runoff Risk Advisory Forecast tool. It uses past and predicted National Weather Service weather data like precipitation, temperature, and snow melt. It predicts the likelihood that applied manure will run off fields in daily, next day, and 27-hour increments. Farmers and commercial applicators use an interactive map to locate their field and find the forecasted risk. Users can also sign up for email or text messages for their county that alerts them to a severe runoff risk for that day. Agricultural Commissioner Dave Fredrickson stated, "By providing this information, we hope to give our farmers and commercial manure applicators the tools they need to make well-informed decisions. By being able to better predict times of high runoff risk, we can decrease the potential loss of manure to our waterways and increase farm productivity by saving nutrients on the land. It is a win-win situation based on an easy-to-use tool." When someone goes into the interactive map, the runoff risk is displayed in 4 categories: no runoff expected, low, moderate, and severe. When the risk is moderate or severe, it is recommended that the applicator evaluate the situation to determine if there's other locations or later dates when the manure application could take place. The forecasting tool can also be used by others looking for climate information, including 2-inch soil depth temperatures, which are useful at planting time, and 6-inch soil depth temperatures, which are helpful when determining fall fertilizer application in appropriate areas. You can locate this tool on the MDA's website at www.mda.state.mn.us/RRAF. Now, since we already took a look back at the weather of 2017, I also want to bring to your attention a draft rule that was published in the summer of 2017, titled the Nitrogen Fertilizer Rule. This rule has undergone some significant changes based off of the last public comment period. It is now called the Groundwater Protection Rule, and it is again out on public comment period until July 26, 2018. The purpose of this rule is to minimize potential fertilizer sources of nitrate pollution to the state's groundwater and protect our drinking water. Again, this framework reflects a revision of that draft nitrogen fertilizer rule that was released in June 2017. I'm not going to go into a lot of details on the rule's language or the changes that are included. My goal is to encourage you to visit MDA's website and review the Groundwater Protection Rule in its entirety. Nitrate is one of the most common contaminants in Minnesota's groundwater. Elevated nitrate levels in drinking water can pose serious health concerns for humans. The goal of that groundwater protection rule is to work with local farmers to reduce elevated nitrate levels in groundwater. The proposed rule would regulate the use of nitrogen fertilizer in areas of the state where soils are vulnerable to leaching and where drinking water supplies have high nitrate levels. Public input is important to the rulemaking process, and in addition to submitting written comments online, the public can also testify on the Rule of Administrative Law Judge hearings scheduled this summer. They are spread throughout the state, and locally, there is one going to be held in St. Cloud on Wednesday, July 25th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the River Edge Convention Center downtown St. Cloud. Now, if you can't attend one of the hearing sessions, no worries. You still have time till July 26th to submit your comments. Don't miss this opportunity to share your opinion and help develop the Groundwater Protection Rule, safe drinking water for all generations. This has been Katie Breth with your Conservation Report. Thank you for listening and happy spring planting.